back again, and just like last week, I'm going to be painting this, the Star Player from my Blood Bowl team. And I kind of forgot how far I got last week, so it's quite nice. I got a bit further than I thought. Got the black armour, leather, and trousers done, along with the skin, obviously. So I think I'm just going to base coat the rest of the things, and then move on. If anybody was watching last week, you would have seen that I was trying to get my Blood Bowl team painted within a few days. I was on track, however, couple incidences. Nah, not a couple. My wife scratched her eye, so we had to go to A&E, which was an issue. It slowed down the whole thing, so I delayed it for a week. Gonna try and get that video out this week instead. I'm making pretty good progress. The standard orcs are basically at the same stage this guy's at now, with much more basic skin. So that's good. We've got all the leathers and armour, trousers, all base coated. Some of the metallics have started to be base coated as well, but they're a bit more boring, so we're not going to do those on the stream. Instead, we are going to paint this guy, and I'm thinking we will start with the horns and like tusky areas and the teeth. I think I'm going to base coat those first, and I'm going to be using Scrag Brown for this. It's quite a reddish brown or orangey. And I think it works quite nicely. So who have we got watching today, and where are we? What are we doing? We have currently got my childhood dog is staying with me and my wife this week. Well, for a few days, because my parents have gone to Wales and they needed somebody to dog sit. So she's come to see the house for the first time, which is lovely, getting to spend a bit more time with her. It's been a long while since I got to spend any decent amount of time with her. And she's getting really old and frail now. We've got loads of pebbles in the garden, and just walking on those, she fell over. So she's getting to that age where things are just really difficult. She can't even get upstairs, which is fine for during the day, because I'm just spending most of the day down here. She likes to, not at the moment, she's gone to bed, but she has been sitting at my feet a little bit today, just chilling, which has been really nice. Now, this obviously won't be the final colour for these areas. They will be highlighted up to, but for now, I'm going to have this be the darkest point, I think. I might use something darker, but this is just to set the general tone, something to work with. And like I said last week, this guy's going to have a bit more done to him than the rest of the team. The rest of the team is just speed painting, but I thought I'd take my time a little bit more on the hero character, I guess. Star Player. I'm going to do his nails in the same colour that I'm doing his teeth and horns. He's got some nasty nails on him. There we go. So we've got these two horns, the nails. Let's try and do the teeth as well. It's a bit difficult to do the teeth on models like this when they have a huge piece of armour or whatever right in front of their mouth. On the one hand, you're thinking nobody's ever going to look in the mouth, so why bother putting in this detail? But on the other hand, you got to paint the teeth. The teeth are awesome, especially for orcs, because it's their form of currency, isn't it? Okay, I think It's just this big one up here that's impaled the zombie fella. So let's do that. Might have to come back and do a second coat with these because this paint has been on my wet palette for a while and has thinned out quite a bit. So there's quite a bit of white showing through it. So I might have to come back, thicken it up a little bit. In fact, I might have to do that with some of the leathers that I painted last week. For now, that'll do. I have no idea what colour we should do his hair. Okay, let's not worry about that right now. Maybe let's paint the skull. The skull on top of his head. That'd be fun. So, for those of you that have watched the channel for a while, you may have seen my old how to paint bone video. Potentially not. It's one of the least popular ones. But the way that I like to do it is using wine oxide as the base, which you can see has already been done on that skull on top of his head, the links to the ponytail. Yeah, start with wine oxide, and then I do a mix of wine oxide and Steel Legion drab, and then start to introduce a bone colour. So right now I'm just going to mix some of the wine oxide and Steel Legion drab. Let's move that. Maybe you can. I can put this up here for you. Yeah. I might use a thinner brush for this. Still using fairly beat up brushes. Really need to invest in some new ones. But they get the job done, so. Okay, why am I not using a painting handle for this guy? I keep stabbing my thumbs with the horns. Okay, now I'm just going to start to pick out all the ridges, basically, with this new slightly lighter colour. And that means that I can leave all the darkest areas of the skull, this wine oxide base coat. This skeleton, this skull, looks really sad. It's got slightly upturned, well, not eyebrows obviously, but like its eye socket looks slightly upturned, which is bizarre. Now I'm going to have to try, I think I will use a different colour for when I'm highlighting the leathers. Because normally I would highlight leathers using Steel Legion drab as well. But I want to be able to differentiate fairly easily between the bone. Because otherwise it might all look the same, you know. Right, now I'm going to use some Steel Legion drab by itself. Just like how I paint most things, really. I'm going to be mixing the colours in between transitions to help the layers blend a bit nicer. Okay, there we go. That's a nice layer of Steel Legion drab. As there's not much in the way of conversation at the moment, I think I might go over to the Warhammer community website and have a look at some of their articles and have a little talk about them whilst I'm painting. If they're not ones that I have to actually read, like reveals and stuff. Right, next week, Space Marines, Scorpions, and small tanks. Okay, what is up for pre-order next week? Marines return from battling Leviathan. Oh, they're finally releasing that that Space Marine captain in Terminator armor. He was announced ages ago, and then they kind of just didn't say anything about him, which is really weird. As if though they decided they weren't going to do it. And I kind of get why. I like it. However, the one that came in the Leviathan box set is so much better. The pose is so much nicer. The this other one looks really, really static. So it feels weird to kind of go from one that was super dynamic, that let's be honest, all Space Marine players probably have that now, to go from that to a much less dynamic one. It's a little strange. However, for those players that are new to the hobby, they won't have a large collection of Space Marines in Terminator armor or captains in Terminator armor, whereas myself and people that have been playing it for a few years will have some older ones. So I guess if you're just getting into the hobby, it's good to have that variation available to you, even if it's not as good. And what else is available? The Space Marine Heroes of the Chapter. What are these guys called? Gravis Armoured Apothecary. Nice. Sternguard Veterans. I was really excited by these Sternguard Veterans as a Dark Angels player, because there used to be something called Dark Angels Veterans, which is basically what these models are, but it was all Dark Angel specific heraldry and whatnot. And that specific set, you might still be able to get it, I'm not entirely sure, but it looks really dated now. Which is quite a shame, because I always used to really like the look of the set. Yeah, I always really liked it because it seemed like an opportunity to have your standard Space Marines within your Dark Angels army, but still have them be a little different. Because I think that's my biggest pet peeve about Space Marines, that the armies can so often look exactly the same, just different colours. Which is why I think, personally, I've always loved the Deathwing and Ravenwing portions of the army, because it is very distinctly them. Like, I know everybody has access to Terminators and to bikes and whatnot, but I don't know. I think it's the fact that they are a different colour to the rest of the army as well that helps. There are just various things that help set those two different portions of the army aside from the rest, which I've always quite liked. What's my point? Oh yeah, that's what the Dark Angels Veterans kind of did. They took the standard Space Marine part of the army, what we kind of refer to as the Green Wing. They took those and kind of made them Dark Angel specific, which was really cool. So I'm kind of happy to see what's the word? The newer versions of Space Marines are... Damn it, what are they called? The old... The word has completely left my head. But you know, the bigger Space Marines that we have now, what all the Space Marines being released are now, they're not Firstborn anymore, are they? Yeah, it's nice to get a kit in that scale. Now we just need to figure out how to make them uniquely Dark Angel. Okay, what else? The Apothecary, yeah, cool. Like Apothecaries. The Ballistus Dreadnought. I don't like the Ballistus Dreadnought, personally. I think having that weird stumpy arm, it just doesn't look great. I still haven't painted mine. Well, I haven't even built it. It's still in the box. Don't get me wrong, it's probably really good on the table. But, as I imagine most of you kind of suspect, I am more into this hobby for the painting side of things. So whether it's good on the table or not, it's never really bothered me too much. Always been a lot more of the belief of rule of cool. As in just buying what I like the look of and then just putting it in a list because I want to play with my new toys. Basically. And then the Infernus Marines. Is that what they're called? Or am I making it up? Infernus Marines. Yep, they're being released as well, which is pretty cool. I do actually quite like those flamethrower thingies they've got. And Space Marine Scout Squad. Now that's really cool because when I first got into... Oh, it's a new Aldari as well. That's quite nice. When I first started playing Warhammer, or buying it, whatever, all of the above. Primaris, yes, thank you. I can't believe I forgot that word. Yeah, when I first got into Warhammer, having Scouts was really exciting to me. I don't know why. I really, really liked them. So it's quite nice to see a scaled up version of them. Now, Primaris scale, even. Thank you, Athol. Can't believe I forgot that. Proper weird. Are there any bones up here? Is this a bone, or is this like a rod of some kind? Kind of looks like a metal rod, and I'm not entirely sure what bone this would be sticking out here. Oh, but there is a spinal cord there. Should I paint that, or should I leave him to be painted in one go? I think I'll leave him to be painted in one go. Okay, I'm going to base coat all the metallics now. So to do that, I'm going to pop my wet palette away. And get out my grass tuft box, which I use the back of as a metallic palette. We're going to use lead belcher because it's quite a nice dark silver. And I'm just going to start to pick out areas that I want to end up being silver. So, going to go with all this chainmail here. Only problem with this palette, there is so much on here that I often can't see what I've just put on. Well, I can see it, but it takes me a second to figure out what it is. I think I'm going to make this chainmail a little bit rusty up near the top, where the black piece of armour overlays on it. I think that'd be quite nice. Okay. I think I'm going to do this blade on his hand in the silver as well, and the rings on the tusk bits. Obviously the buckles for all the leathers. Then we'll see where we're at. I think maybe this like earringy thing as well. Do that too. I'm going to go back onto Warhammer Community, keep talking about that because that's actually quite enjoyable. The Aldawi Blades of Cain. These are some pretty cool looking miniatures. And what are those statue things? I'm going to read the description. Aspect warriors are the craft world's elite and sometimes combine their incredible combat skills in a Blades of Cain kill team. Okay, it's a kill team. This plastic kit builds 10 striking scorpions with a variety of options which can operate as a kill team on their own or link up with Dire Avengers and Howling Banshees to massively increase their options. Okay, so it doesn't tell me what those weird statues are. Weirdly, it makes me think of Blood Bowl, because you get the little tokens in Blood Bowl, don't you? Oh, there was some new Legion in... no, wait, is that what it's called? Is it called Legion Imperialis? Yes, some new Legion Imperialis stuff coming out. Loads more tanks and turrets. More dreadnoughts and stuff. Oh, and big tanks, which won't be big. They will be tiny. Okay, that's cool. Next week looks like it could be good for people pre-ordering, which is always nice. And what else? Right, yeah. Okay, that's something I want to talk about. These Kroot, they keep releasing new Kroot previews. They look really cool. Tau have always interested me. I've always liked the idea of the Kroot in particular, but they've never had much... I don't know, their models have always been lacking a little bit, but I always thought they had quite a lot of potential. I've always kind of liked just plain Tau as well. Just the look of them, I quite like the look of them. But oh boy, these new Kroot models look gorgeous. Well, this guy that they've... When was this announced? Today. Oh, okay. They've announced the new one today. He looks excellent. It's not a tactical rock this time. It's like tactical temple steps or something that he's standing on, which is good. The painters on this have done incredibly. The texture on the leather, it's not a helmet, mask, hat, I don't know. The texture on that looks beautiful. But they just seem like they are going to be great fun to paint. In general, I always prefer to paint things that are an organic subject matter. And it was the same way when I was doing my illustration as well. I don't really like the machines and whatnot, which is ironic because I just said that I'd always kind of fancied painting Tau. And it is the machines that I actually want to paint for Tau. But I just get generally more enjoyment out of doing organic subject matters, which is why I've really been enjoying getting into Age of Sigmar models. I have loved every second of painting the Nurgle miniatures that I have, and I have loved painting the Seraphon miniatures as well. And that is largely because they are organic looking creatures. I think it's because you can get a bit more variety in what you're painting when you're doing something that's organic. When it's a machine or, I don't know, power suit kind of thing, there's only so far that you can take it, because ultimately it's all got to look like it's made out of the same thing. Whereas when you're doing skin and whatnot, so a good example is the Nurgle miniatures. I really like adding a bit of disease or whatever to their skin, bruising certain areas, making it a bit green and purple and whatnot, whereas it wouldn't really make sense to be doing that on a suit of armour. Which is why, personally, when everybody was really excited about the Cities of Sigmar miniatures, I could recognise that they were nice. but that ain't my bag. It's not the kind of thing that I personally want to paint. Now, should I make this the part that he's holding silver as well? I think I will, just for simplicity's sake. The actual act of base coating is something that I find to be incredibly tedious and boring. I get most of my enjoyment out of when I'm adding details and highlights and stuff, and you can really start to see the picture come together a bit more. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly satisfying when you have done all the base colours and you can see the roadmap of what you're doing. That is satisfying. But I just much prefer getting down into the nitty-gritty bits where I can really start to make it all come together a bit more. And I am very grateful that I'm nearing the end of doing the base colours now, because I'm getting quite bored. I think what I'm going to do now is, there were some black bits that I need to go over again, where I've got other colours on them, which is fine. And then I might give it a quick matte varnish and then start to add some details. We're going to leave this fleshy boy on top. We're going to get the rest of it done, and then we'll do him afterwards. Get my wet palette back. Get some black up onto the brush, because there's a patch here I somehow missed. Okay. I actually think that's it for the black, but I know there was some brown I need to fix as well. See, that's one of the good things about using a wet palette, is that you can keep your paints obviously fresher for longer, but when you make mistakes you can go back and just grab them. You're not having to get it back out onto your palette or anything. What am I doing? It's up here, isn't it? Yeah, just on the fingers. Okay, there we go. Just tidy that up. Now, what colour should we do that hair? I've already asked that question and forgot what I said. Did I say white? I feel like I said white. I don't like painting white. That's difficult. Maybe I'll do a dirty off-white. That's not too hard. Or a blondie colour. Yeah, I might do that. Let's get Xandri Dust. That'll be the base coat. Can wash it with some... I was going to say sepia, but I'm really low on sepia, so I might actually just do Aquax Surfshade. Let's find it first. There we go. Aquax Surfshade. And then I will highlight with Xandri Dust, mixed with Ice Yellow, and then Ice Yellow by itself. I think that's what we're going to do for the hair. I'm going to do that right now. I say do that right now. I will get to the wash stage and then have to wait to do anything else. Yeah, I think that's going to look alright. Gotta make sure to get all of the hair. Some of it that is in the shadow is a bit more difficult to see. But there we go, getting it all. I think Xandri Dust is actually a really good paint. It's got quite a nice coverage for just first time use. Don't normally have to do multiple layers of this. Even on these darkest areas, because Zenithal highlighted it, it's going on pretty nicely. Okay, is that all of it? I think that's basically all of it, except for the underside of this strand here. Yeah, okay. Once that's dried, we'll give it a nice wash. I think that does look quite nice. Whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I am going to go back onto Warhammer Community, but I'm going to see if I can show you guys what I'm doing. Display capture, primary monitor, add source. Yeah, sure. Now, let's see what this does. Would like to record this computer screen. Open system preferences. Now what? Sharing? No. Oh, okay, now it's actually taking me to the page I need. Click lock to make changes. Okay. I'm going to have to do my password on. Connect, please. There we go. Okay. Tick. Streamlabs. Oh. Okay, I need to quit the app in order to use it. Okay, next time I will be able to do that, but for now, that's a no-go. Okay, so I'll just delete that source. Sorry for wasting time. Anyway, let's go back to Warhammer Community. What other things have been posted? Is anybody getting this wonderful Uthak Black Orc miniature? Because he is beautiful. The orc that's being released for, what's it called? Mordaka? Is that what the book's called? It's a Black Library book. He looks so nice. He'll be a really nice war boss. I've got mine ordered, and it will be coming. I'm very excited about that. I'm also kind of excited that Warhammer Community seems to be pushing Blood Bowl a bit more as of late, which means my Blood Bowl video might do okay. Hopefully. Never know, though. The Kroot Hounds as well. I really like those. Their snouts are a lot smaller than the old ones, but I quite like it. Ooh, I can react to comments. Action cannot be performed inside. Oh, okay, never mind. What else we got? Announcing the 2024 Open Series and the World Championships of Warhammer 2024. Right, I'm not a tournament player, but from this thing coming about, we have now learnt that they're definitely not planning on doing a Golden Demon here in the UK this year, which personally I think sucks. Have you considered doing a painting model in 24 hours type video? Yes. I'm doing these guys in the Black Orcs team. It's been done over 2 days. I started last week, had to pause it. I did about 3 hours work just doing the skin and was it? I think I was just doing the skin. And then today I've been getting them back like to this point. Tomorrow is going to be... Hopefully these will be done by tomorrow. The bases will be finished as well. I'm taking a bit more time on this guy, and then I've just got the Gretchen to do. So that is the concept for that. But in terms of doing a painting model in 24 hours, what would that be? Would that be a large individual model? Or would it be just like an army? I don't know. How much would be entertaining? Because if it's just one guy, like if it was painting this chap in 24 hours, great. I can make that look really good. But I just wondered, what would it be that you're actually looking for? What I'm going to do now is mix this bone colour that I have on my palette with the Scrag Brown from earlier. It's going to be the mid-tone for all of the really long bones like this. And from the end, I'm going to start pulling the paint towards the tip of the horns. Another content creator done a large model and has a timer on the screen. Okay, yeah. Have I got any large models? Problem is, I've started my Glotkin. He's like half finished, which is annoying because I do want to finish him. Who else could I do that with? Would it be interesting to see my Slan? Is it just called a Slan Priest? Or I think painting model in 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and 1 hour could be a fun idea. I would like to do that as well, actually, because it's a common practice in illustration, a way of kind of understanding what parts of an image you prioritize when you're creating it. And obviously it would work the same way when doing a miniature. So that could be good, because I've got plenty of things where I can do 3 different versions of one model. Whether that be Space Marines, or some like Nuggly guys, or Orcs. There are a few options there. But yeah, as I was just saying, in terms of large models, I think all I've really got is the frog chap sat in a chair for the Seraphon. Not Lord Croak. I don't know what it's called. Slan something. And he is primed and ready to go, that miniature as well. It is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. This brush is in an awful state. But I will make it work for me. I'm not letting it ruin what I'm doing. can actually show you the exact model I'm thinking of. I can see him in my display cabinet from here. Now the two skinks are loose because I wanted to be able to paint them separately. But this one. Would that be an interesting one to try and do in a day? Because, oh yeah, it's a lovely model. I'm really looking forward to painting this, but also kind of nervous. Ooh. So I've left him out so I can paint the chair properly. And these guys are detachable as well so that I can paint them properly as well. I've got to say, one of my favourite things about doing the Seraphon is the base. Look at my jungly base. Love the range of textures you can get on them. I'm going to pop them on the table behind me. I guess I do also have... I had some larger Tyranids. I've got the Exo Cream in a box. That's the one with the huge back cannon. I've also got most of the Leviathan box. In fact, the only thing that I painted for the Tyranids from the Leviathan box is the Barb Gaunts. So I could do a video on those as well. That one could just be how many Tyranids could you paint in 24 hours. Just seeing how much of the box I can actually get through. Could be interesting. Because if by some weird miracle I got through a whole bunch of it and needed more, I do have a bunch more Tyranids that are unpainted. I think after this layout I'm going to go to a finer brush because whilst I can get this thing to work for me, it does require quite a bit of work. Oh, I forgot to add any of this colour to his teeth. So what are people working on for themselves at the moment? I'm always really interested to know what other people are working on. I'm also interested to know when people are building an army, are you actually building to a list you've already written? Because for me, what I've done every time is, like every time I started a new army, normally I buy the equivalent to a start collecting box, which is now the combat patrols. I believe it's still a start collecting box for Age of Sigmar. But normally I buy those because they're the best value for money, and then I kind of just build out from there on units that I like. Not what's going to be good on the table, just what do I really like the look of. What makes me excited to paint. That's generally how I do it. But then, when listening to other painters online and stuff, a lot of them do say they want to paint I don't know, an Age of Sigmar list by this point or whatever, but they always refer to it as a list. Just wondering, do people write out fully fledged lists and that's just going to be the army that they play with when they play? Because for me, I almost never play with the same models. It's the reason I lose all the time, because I don't give myself a chance to learn the finesse of each army or whatever. Because I'm constantly jumping about. I just like variety. It's awkward to paint this one on his shoulder. Kind of want the tip of the... not the tip. I kind of want the base of these tusks to be a bit darker, I think. So I'm going to thin out some white oxide and just plop it around the base. Hello, Che. All right. The dog. Dog has arrived. She's come to see what I'm painting. Oh, no, she's not. She's come in here to fart and to poison my nose. Thank you. Don't now leave. It's rude, isn't it? I'm not really being that careful around these metal rings because I'm just going to repaint them. Allows me to be a bit messier with these tusk bits. So, you know, this is just a subtle tint, but making it a little bit darker does look nice, I think. My dog is chasing nothing, but she's chasing. You done, mad dog? What are you doing, Jay? Jay, what are you doing? I think I'll leave that there. Do we need to do it up here? Nah. Okay. I might now put that varnish on it. I said I was going to do that earlier. Come on, yep. There we go. My dog is looking very confused. I'm not sure that she knows what an airbrush is. A little bit of flow improver. And then, not hard coat, because in my head that sounds like a matte one, but it's not. Neither is Lamy and medium. Or is our... No, Ardcoat is the matte one, isn't it? It's Storm Shield. Not 100% certain. We're just going to whisk it. Okay, that's enough of that. I managed to get some on my finger. Just wipe that off. Pop the lid on my wet palette. Okay. Okay, can leave it at that. That's good enough. Oh, whilst I've still got some in my cup, I'm going to take some of these guys because the black is starting to rub off, which is very strange. Something else that's strange is my compressor hasn't made any noise yet. Normally it would try and fire up by now. I'm wondering if I've accidentally turned it off at some point. Stand up. There we go. And last one. Good. Now hopefully the black won't come off when I pick these guys up. Because that keeps happening, which is rather frustrating. Bit of cleaner. Just going to blast that through there. See, this is how you shouldn't do it. Done. Okay, I can't put the airbrush back if you're right underneath me. Reverse, reverse. Thank you. No, it's not for you to eat. Good girl. Ooh, look, the bit of the varnish just stayed on my fingers, gone all weird. Get that in focus. It's like dried PVA glue. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let that dry properly because I don't want to risk screwing it up. Yes, and then after that, I think I might highlight some of the leathers because they're looking pretty boring. I hate highlighting black, but it's going to need to be done at some point. This dog is so weird. She's really old, so she's quite forgetful now. Keeps just staring at stuff, not really knowing what she's doing. Which is very much a shame. Because of my impatience, I am considering using a hairdryer. Just considering it. Yeah, actually. She's whining at me for some reason. Now she's gone back to sniffing the air compressor. Right, just need to check something. Mr. Jones. No, okay, that's fine. Sorry about the shaking. My dog keeps walking into the desk. Don't you, you melon. I think that's okay to start painting. Right, let's do the wash on the hair. Let's have quick surf shade. What colour should I do this guy's eyes? Because I haven't painted them yet, but they're actually quite pronounced, so they will need painting. Oh yeah, that looks good actually, using the Agrax. Wasn't sure if a sepia would be better, but I'm liking slightly browner shadows. Yeah, cool. Don't know what kind of skin tone I want to go for the dead guy. Should I go for a paley green kind of zombie skin or something else? Whilst we're doing washes, actually, I might add the Agrax Surf Shade to the chainmail. There's nowhere else really that I want to use a wash, I don't think. So we'll do that because it's got so many different shapes and details. It's good to kind of bring it back into focus after base coating it. Just really helps to add depth to it again. There you go. That'll do for now, and then I will add some like rust effects once it's dry, which is the same for this blade. I'm actually going to do a tiny bit of the wash on the edges of the handles. My wife, hello. Hello, Nicola. Okay, I need to repaint the silver rings on the tusks, where I went over it a little bit earlier. I think I'm going to have to use some new paint, like I said. Using this palette makes it almost impossible to see where the paint is that I've already put on. But, yeah, let's test it this way. Okay, it is still wet, because I got a little bit there. That was there, so I'm thinking here. Paint might be here. No. Ah, there it is. Got it. Now, there we go. Just tidy up these wings a little bit. Really need to try and bring this brush back to a tip because it is splayed really badly. How is Che? Che has been... She's been walking into the desk. Haven't you, Bobs? But yes, she's okay. Feeling a little bit lost, I think. Why are you walking into the door? If you... There you go. She wants to go up the other side of my table. Oh, no, you don't now. Okay. Right, I'm going to start adding some more colour to the leathers. I think I'm going to do this by adding a bone colour to the original brown. Like that. Oh, I can't see it. Oops. She's been in with me for quite a while. Say maybe 40 minutes. Maybe. Haven't you, Jay? She's currently just stood under my chair. Now I'm going to paint all the knuckles and stuff with this colour. Just use this to try and bring in some shape. Oh, okay, bye, Che. Che has now left. Would you ever get a Warhammer tattoo? That is such a... That's a difficult one. Because if it was the right design, then yes. But I don't like the grimdark aesthetic that you get in the Warhammer books and all that. That's not the kind of thing I'd like. I'd like something bright and colourful. But then at what point does it kind of stray too far away from Warhammer? And you just don't get that kind of art. Really. I wouldn't mind a goblin that was drawn by Louise Sugden, because when she used to do the illustrations for the Blood Bowl books and all that, they were really cool. I like that kind of style. But it's just too dark and serious, I think. What are you doing? She's now laying under the chair, but she got into a really weird way of doing that. The only other way that I'd consider having a Warhammer-themed tattoo is to have one of the emblems or symbols for a specific army. Goodbye. My wife, I will see you in a minute. Okay, we're just continuing to use this lighter brown to help indicate the shape of stuff like the gloves. And these leather straps. Oops, I just got it on a black, but that's fine. I can just go over that. Don't know why, but the dog is fidgeting a lot. Did you play Darktide? I didn't. I've never really been fond of games where it's just like shooting and shooting and shooting, and there's not much more to it. And to me, that's how it appeared to be. However, as time has gone on, and I've seen the odd bit of gameplay from people from within the community and whatnot, it's okay, Jay, calm down. It does appeal to me a bit more, just for a bit of senseless fun. I think it would actually be kind of fun to get. So I have considered it, and wouldn't mind giving it a go. Have you played it? And if so, what's your opinion of it? Is it worth giving a go? I just find, in general, Warhammer games can be quite samey. However, the Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin, annoyingly, when it actually came out, I just lost my job, so I wasn't in a financial position to buy the game. However, I had played the beta when that was released, and I really liked that. So that is a Warhammer game that I do want to buy. Oh, just realised I'm painting off the screen. Okay, these shoes are starting to look better now that they've got a bit of a lighter colour on them as well. Right, is there any leather spots that I missed? Ah, right at the top. Okay, there we go. A little bit more on this side. Okay. I think now I'm going to add even more bone colour to it and go over them all again. There's a bunch on the front I've missed. How this head strap works exactly, that's holding the skull on top of his head, I've no idea. It's pretty complicated. Sounds like the dog just walked into the wall again. You okay, Jay? I think I'm happy enough with that. Literally every time I say it, I realise more spots that need to be painted. Needed to paint that belt buckle earlier as well. And this is an awkward spot. She keeps walking into things.
In here?
Yeah. Don't you, Jay? I don't know, she keeps making noises.
Does she need to go out?
Maybe. Yeah, let's go fun. Give it a try. It does look like Left 4 Dead, that kind of violence. You know she can't hear you. Come in and get tap her or something.
Why is she making that noise?
I don't know.
Joey. Come on, let's go out.
She is slightly blind. Her eyes have got little grey spots in them. Very sad. Yes, I think when it goes on sale, I will have to give it a try. Right, let's add a bit more bone. The bone's not making a massive difference to this colour. Okay, there we go. One of the main things that I want to use this specific colour for is edge highlighting the, I suppose, cuff of the gloves. Just really help set them apart a bit.
She won't go out. Do you think maybe she's hungry?
Maybe. I was going to feed her soon. You can do it if you want. Using my Finland mug, I just scooped.
Come on then, Jojo.
You going to follow Nicola? Or just... Oh, you're looking at my models. She's staring directly into my display cabinet. Okay, now she's bored. She's left. I'm just going to be getting the very edges of each leather strap with this colour, I think. Yeah, it's starting to look quite cool now. It's pretty messy, but pretty cool. When it comes to painting leather, if I want to highlight the raised areas, it is better, I often forget to, but to do little dashes or really quick little brush strokes because it kind of adds a texture to it. Okay. Don't really know how much to bother on the bottom of the shoe. There we go. Okay. We'll do a little bit on these shoulder straps as well, as they're like the highest leather items. They're going to need a bit of highlighting, aren't they? Not on the armour. Or on the armour again, whatever. I think I'll just leave that and do some black in a minute. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Right, I think I'm going to end it now anyway. So thank you all for having joined. Yeah, I'm going to try to do it again next week.